For hole 1, we're going to be using our APOC 4. You're going to be starting at max distance with your red ring next to the rough on the right. 2 right spin and 1 top spin. So you're going to be at the plus 16 yard mark with your red ring by the rough. If you have an APOC 5 or 6, you are going to set up at the plus 10 yard mark since you are 6 yards further than the APOC 4. So again, you're going to adjust your shot at max distance with a plus 15% elevation, and then you're going to take a normal shot. At 332, Fenzel hit this at 70% slider of his club, so I did 2.4% per yard, which gave me 75% slider. So I played this at 75% slider with a plus 10% elevation. So this shot is going to play at the slider of your club with a plus 10% over adjustment. I did 0.2 top spin, and what I think my mistake was is I didn't offset below the hole. I think if I would have offset below the pin basically, or just below the hole, it would have come in nicely. So again, kind of play around with this shot, but I believe that the offset is going to be below the hole. You do want to pull at an 11:59 pull angle here as well. So again, it's going to be plus 10% at the slider of your club, and you're going to do an 11:59 pull on your shot. For hole 2, I'm playing this at 10% max plus 0.1. So I think that we just need to offset this shot just below the hole. And we're doing about 2.2 backspin with 1 right spin. So I suggest either going just below the hole, because I just barely missed this shot, and then do your 10% at max distance plus 0.1. So again, we're going to be pulling this at an 11:59 pull angle, and you're going to do plus 10% at max with your sniper 10 and add 0.1 to your shot. If you still miss high, add another point to your adjustment and see if that fixes the issue of going high. But so far, I think that we just need to offset a little bit more below the hole. I tried multiple drives on this hole, and I came up with the rock is actually my preferred way. You're going to use a rock and a kingmaker, max top spin, max right spin. You're going to have your red ring by the rough. If you are a great right hitter, I would stay off of that rough a little bit more. I would do maybe half the blue ring into the rough. You're going to over adjust your shot with a plus 10% over adjustment. If you have a rock 9, you are not going to push up. If you have a rock 8, I would actually push up 1 ring. And anything below an 8, I would actually push up 1.5 to 2 rings. And again, if you are a great right hitter, I would put half the blue ring into the rough instead of having the red touching the rough. So again, max distance with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. If you do not have a sniper 9 or 10, you should bring your big dog, kata, or guardian. But here, if you have a sniper 10, we're going to play this at max distance with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. I just did too much backspin here. So I was trying to find the little sticky spot that they do in Expert. I found it, but it's just too much backspin for our wind angle. So just have your ball guide going to the hole and maybe a square short of the hole, and then adjust your shot with a plus 10% elevation at max distance of your club. For hole 4, I'm going to show you a couple different shots that I did and show you what you need to do differently. With an APOC 6, I did max top spin and max left spin. I tried to set up at the plus 7 yard mark, and what was wrong with this is the more top spin that you use on this shot, the more it's going to push your ball. So I didn't set far enough back. So it basically did a speed roll as it hit the sand, which, you know, it does work, but I did over adjust this shot with a plus 10% elevation at max distance. So if you are setting up with an APOC 6 and you're going to do max top spin, I would go back to probably the +5 or +6 yard mark and then do your adjustment at +10% over adjustment. Here with my APOC 5, this was another time that I tried to just figure it out. And here again, I used max top spin, max left spin. This was before I was figuring out that the higher the top spin, the more of a push you get. But here I set up at the +7 mark. If I would have started at, it was either at the 7 or the 8. If I would have started at the +6 yard mark, I think I would have been okay. So I think the APOC 5 or 6, either the +5 or the +6 yard mark is going to work with max top spin and max left spin. Over adjust your shot at max distance with a +10% over adjustment and then take a shot. I just wanted to show you, if you did clip the sand, that you can still hit it with your end bringer. You're going to play it with a +20% elevation at max distance. So I played this at max distance with a +20% elevation. I did hit minor great right and it hit dead center. So it actually might play at max distance with a +25% elevation. So if you do hit the sand, try +25 first. If you are further up and you are closer, you're going to use a +20% elevation. For hole 5, I do have a breakdown video on my channel, so I suggest you go look at that shot. Here the replay doesn't show it, but I am using a Zerk to set up my shot. 4 top spin, 0.5 left spin, and with my Zerk I'm going to be at the absolute min line with my white ring touching the rough. Once that happens, I'm going to switch to my Kingmaker. Once you switch to the Kingmaker, you're going to adjust your shot 1 wind per ring. So my wind here was 5.0, I adjusted 5 rings. So again, you're going to start with your Zerk at the absolute min line with your white ring touching the rough, and then you're going to switch to a Kingmaker. 4 top spin, 0.5 left spin, and then you're going to adjust 1 to 1. For hole 6, I do have a breakdown video as well on my channel, and I suggest that you go check that out. With the Rock 9, we're doing max right spin with 4.2 top spin. We're mimicking a Rock 8. With a Rock 9, you're going to be starting at the +0 yard mark with your red ring touching the rough, and with a Rock 8, you're going to be at the +1. Your second bounce is going to be just off the rough line up ahead, and then you're going to adjust your shot at 0% elevation at max distance of your club. You will then give it a 1 ball of curl, so the outside of your ball or the inside of your ball touching the outside of the ring. Now if you are a constant great right hitter, I suggest putting the blue ring by the rough. Both work. So you can either have the red ring touching the rough or the blue ring touching the rough. They both work, and you're just going to adjust at max distance with a 0% elevation. For the second shot, we are going to be using our Sniper 9 or 10. Your white ring is going to be touching the rough no matter where you are at. On your yardage marker, you're going to be playing this at max distance with a +10% elevation. So here I'm at the +4 yard mark, I believe, or +5. My white ring is touching the rough, no spin, ball guide going to the hole, and you're going to over adjust your shot with the +10% elevation at max distance. I have hit this multiple times using the same method. So again, no matter what yardage marker you are at, you are going to play at max distance with a +10% elevation, no spin shot, and your white ring has to be touching that rough for this shot to work. For hole 7, this is the same hole and the same wind angle that we had in a tournament or two ago. You're going to be doing max right spin with 4 top spin with an APOC 5 and 6. If you have an APOC 4, you're going to use max top spin and max right spin. Here, I'm going to over adjust my shot with a plus 10% over adjustment, and I'm not going to push up any rings. If you have an APOC 4, you will be pushing up as many rings as needed to hit that landing spot. Your curl will be about 3/4 ball of curl, where the inside of your ball is touching the inside of the ring. The yardage numbers are playing the same as we played it a few tournaments ago. You're going to be doing 1 backspin and then your ball guide going to the hole. You're going to be doing a plus 10% elevation at the slider of your club, and then you will be doing a slight 1201 pull angle. So after this video, I provided a chart that we had in our notes a few tournaments ago. So again, the chart still plays the same. I hit this on every account that I played today. The yardage numbers and sliders still work. So again, plus 10% elevation at the slider of your club, 1 backspin, ball guide going to the hole with a slight 1201 pull angle. For hole 8, if you have a Grizzly 9, you're going to be starting at the plus 1 yard mark. A Grizzly 7 and 8, you're going to be starting at the plus 4 yard mark. You're basically going to have your blue ring touching the rough. You're going to be doing 2.8 backspin. I did too much backspin here, so you want to do 2.8 backspin and 0.5 right spin. Blue ring touching the rough at the plus 1 yard mark, and you will then over adjust your shot at max distance with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. You will need to pull this at a 1201 pull angle. I pulled this at 1159. So you do need to pull it at a 1201, and you're going to give it baby right curl as well. So again, make sure it's 2.8 backspin, 0.5 right spin, baby right curl, and you're going to pull at a 1201 pull angle, max distance with a plus 10% over adjustment. For hole 9, I'm opting for a Thor 5, 6, or 7. I'm going to do 5 top spin and 5 top spin, or maybe 5.2, but I wouldn't go much above 5 top spin. And you can use a little bit of right spin, but you don't need to. You're just basically trying to go down the center of that fairway. So again, don't go much over 5 top spin. You're going to over adjust your shot at max distance with a plus 10% elevation, and then take a normal shot. So again, if you go above 5 top spin, you have a chance of running long. For the second shot, you're going to be playing at the slider of your club with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. What I think needs to happen here is when you spin your ball to the hole, your ball guide needs to go through the hole probably about a good square. So you want to try and hit that rough so that it basically bounces in that rough, and to slow it down, and then have your ball guide going through the hole. So again, plus 10% elevation at the slider of your club. And remember guys, hit perfect. Good luck this tournament and happy golfing.